Sorry guys, I'm not sure why that cut off just there. So towards the back of the van just here, we've got something quite important, which is this boiler drain off. So if you want to drain the boiler out of its water, all you have to do is twist the blue part at the top here, twist it so that it's facing forwards rather than left to right as it is now. And then what will happen is this little blue button at the bottom will basically pop out. That little blue button popping out is what allows the water to go out onto the floor. So that's how you actually drain it out. When you want to fill it back up again, all you have to do is turn that top knob back to where it is and basically push the bottom button in so that it looks like it does now. So that's it in its closed position, so any water that you put towards the boiler now will fill it up. But I'll sort of explain that a bit better when we get on the inside. And then your wastewater drain off is that one just there underneath. Just that little handle. So that's how you drain out your wastewater. So, ouch. Okay, so if I've shown you around the cab. I've got this cupboard up here open. I am going to run through the control panel first, sort of thing, but I just will point this out. So this is your solar controller. So you have got the solar panel on the roof. And so basically, all the time that there's sun up on the roof, you're going to have, I mean, that's a really, really good battery. That's about as high as it will go. So that solar panel is just, it's just showing you there that that's working really, really well. And so you get chucking in a really, really good voltage down to the leisure battery. There is power going down to the engine battery as well, but it won't be half as much because, they tend to set them up so that you get more power going to the leisure. So that is what that is in there. So above the door, as soon as you walk in, you have got the control panel. I'm just going to open this door a sec because it's a bit hot. So the control panel is really, really simple. There's literally nothing to it at all, really. You've got a temperature gauge at the top there, inside, outside. There you go. Fresh water level. Oh, press that again. 100%. Vehicle battery voltage 12.5. Leisure battery voltage 14.6. So that's, again, that's really, really good. You wouldn't really want to exceed 14.8, even when you're on hookup, to be fair. So that being up there like that is really, really good. Awning light, normal lights, and your water pump. So all the time that you want your lights and your water pump to be on, you need to have these two switched on just here. Once you've turned those two on, you can come through and turn on any of the lights, any which ones you want. The bathroom light switch is just under here. But all the lights will come on and come to life as soon as you turn this little button on here. All right. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and do whatever you like. By the way, just in case you're wondering, the reason this voltage is fluctuating is because the sunlight is getting darker and lighter. The clouds are coming over, basically. So because of that solar panel on the roof, it is a case of physically how much power or how much light is on that panel at one time, and that determines how much power, how much voltage that can put into the battery. All right. So if you ever wondered why it was going up and down, that is why. So that's a control panel. Turning it on and off is literally just a case of pressing this bottom right hand button on just here, but that's, self-explanatory really, I think. But there you go. So that's the control panel. Now that you've got that on and the water pump switch is on and all that sort of stuff, the first thing I would recommend doing is if you were if you wanted to heat the water up, get the van hot on the heating and all that sort of thing, first thing you want to do is come over to the tap here, pull the hot water and the cold water through, and just make sure that you've got good pressure. So if we just do that, there's good pressure there. Now we've got good pressure there. So doing that, basically what that does is it proves to me that the tap has got water, or the water system's got pressure in the hot and the cold side of the system. And the reason that's important is that if you try and light the boiler up on gas when there's no water inside the boiler, for example, you're going to run into a world of problems, because you'll essentially be heating up absolutely nothing, and it will just overheat pretty quickly. So that's why it's really important just to double check that you've definitely got water in that boiler. If you didn't have any water in the boiler, what would happen is you would pull the tap and all you'd get is air coming out through the actual spout there. You just get air and it'll just be coughing and spluttering, and that just basically shows you that the system isn't full, and so that you shouldn't light the boiler up until that's full. So that's all that means. That's, it's just a case of running through it and making sure that you're sure that it's definitely got water in it, and that it's full. Once you have checked that, like I said, you can go ahead and use the boiler however you want to. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You've then got next to that your 3-burner hob. It's a SMEV hob there, and you will need an igniter of some description to light any 3 of these up. There's no ignition switch or anything like that, but it's just an optional extra, to be honest. Whether they have them or not is just whether or not whoever bought it brand new wanted it. So that is what that is just there. The oven / grill, I mean, I know some people might think, that's very, very small, but that is just how they are on these. So you've got the grill up top just here. There's an ignition switch for the grill and the oven just there. And so basically you push in and round to the left for the oven, in and round to the right for the grill, whilst pressing on this little ignition switch, and that will light either of those 2 up. You should have the door open when you're using the grill, and obviously don't worry about that when you're using the oven, but there you go. You do have to, it's the same on all of them, you do have to lift this door up a little bit to open it and close it. That is completely normal. Above the oven just here, you have got your TV, which is coming out on this nice little bracket there, so that'll pull all the way out, and you can turn it all the way around so that it will be facing down towards the bed if you want it to. You've also got next to that your TV aerial booster, so that comes on with a little switch at the top here, and that brings on this little orange light. So basically there's an aerial on the roof. You don't have to do anything with that, because I'm pretty certain it's one of the standard ones that you don't have to twist to move or anything like that. So essentially just turn on your signal booster there, and you will have signal at the TV. So yeah, that's it, nice and easy. Below the oven just here, we've got the fridge. So this is a Thetford 3-way fridge. You can probably work out from that name that it works 3 different ways. Right, so to actually get this to work, you can see at the moment I've got a little green light inside there, which is telling me that it's on and it's working. All right, so anytime you got a little green light in there, it's working and it's cooling down. So if I want to turn it all the way off, press and hold, green light's gone out, and that's telling me that everything's off. So it's now currently switched off. If I turn it back on again, all the lights come to life, and it's automatically selected the last function that I had it on, which was gas. So because at the moment I've only got the gas switched on, I haven't got the hookup plugged in, and I also don't have the engine running, which are the only other 2 ways that this fridge works. So the only way I can actually physically use it is on the gas, which is where it is now on that little symbol there. So by pressing this little button just here, just once, it brings up just telling you what's going on basically. So if I press it once, it's telling us that we're on number 3 and we're on gas. If I press that again, or press and hold on it, the gas symbol starts flashing, and that's when I can select which one of the 3 functions that I want to use. So if I had the electric hookup plugged in, I would hover over this little hookup symbol, press on that, and then select my power setting. Now it will throw up a code straight away, which is when you get the little red light flashing at you, because I haven't got the electric hookup plugged in. So that is completely correct. Press and hold on this again. It starts flashing just that. If I had the engine running and I'd already pre-cooled the fridge, I would select this one here, the 12-volt battery one. Click on that, select the temperature. Again, flashing up a code because I don't have the engine running, so that won't be doing anything at all. Press and hold it again and select gas because, as I said, gas is the only one that I have on right now. So select that and then select the temperature. And straight away what will happen is the gas will light up at the back of the fridge, and that's all you have to do, you just leave it. So that's how you select the 3 different functions. And if I just quickly explain how that actually, how the functions work. Essentially what you need to do to get this fridge cold and keep it cold is either use the 240 volts, so the electric hookup symbol, or the gas. So if you had a hookup plugged in, just select the hookup one. If you don't and you've got the gas switched on, select the gas. Those 2 are the only 2 ways that the fridge will get cold by itself. So you need to pre-cool it before you go anywhere. You need to pre-cool the fridge either on the hookup or the gas. And then all you need to do is select that 12 volt or the battery symbol there for when your engine's physically running and you're driving. Once you've got to wherever you're going, park up, switch it back to one of the other 2, either the hookup or the gas, and that's it. Just leave it for however long you're parked up and camped up. So that's how you use the fridge. I'll switch it off for now. There you go. So you've got all these little nice blue LEDs around the bottom of the cupboards and things like that as well, which is really nice. Nice modern sort of thing. All the lights as well, or most of the lights, you have got that option there. So you've got the option of just the little blue light. So it does make a big difference, at night when you don't want a proper bright, brilliant white LED. It does make a big difference. So yeah, there you go. So I've got a few bits in here. Please try and ignore this. It was just whilst I was getting rid of this little silicone stuff down here, which is all there now. I am just going to run a nice little bead of silicone down there, clear silicone, just to basically stop any water getting down there and causing any damp problems. But that's that. So that is that bit there. The toilet itself is really, really simple, but I will run you through it just in case you weren't aware of how they worked. So all you've got is a blue button just up there and a little grey handle just there. So all you need to do, press this button here. Fresh water gets pumped around there because you've got the fresh water flush that I said about. And then pull this handle towards you. That then drains whatever's in the toilet into the cassette. Push the handle back. And that's it. That is how you use the toilet. So you basically fill the bowl up, open it into the cassette, flush it. That's it. Really easy. Just in case you ever needed it, you probably won't. But if this little switch just here, these are renowned. Not so much these ones to be fair, but these are renowned for basically the little blue button pushing through. So RollerTeam have obviously thought about that and given you this nice little flap here to get to the back of it, which I promise you is not always that easy. So having it just there is lovely. So just thought I'd mention that. Right, so I think the last sort of bit to show you, obviously you've got the shower room at the back just here. I'll just pop this up in a moment. So yeah, shower obviously comes up and hooks over in there at the top. Yeah, it's a nice layout. It is a really nice layout of the van. I've never seen one laid out like this, to be fair, with a bathroom just there on one side and then a sort of shower room towards the back. But it does work, so yeah, it's clever. Okay, so this little dial back here, I must admit, is a bit of a strange place to put it. I mean, I don't know. It would have made more sense to have it up by the control panel somewhere, but they put it down here. So this is the combi boiler switch, basically how to use it. So this is gas only. So there's no electric hookup functionality on it, which, to be fair, I will say, does normally prolong the life of these boilers, because people tend to, if they do have the electric functionality on it, they tend to just use it on electric, which is 9 times out of 10 where you're going to get your big problems, because all the time that you're not using it on gas, spiders, bits and pieces like that are getting in, you know, creating sort of webs and things like that that get in the way of the gas jets, and that eventually stops these from working. So having it only on gas, meaning that you use it on gas a lot, means that you don't get any of those problems. So it is a good thing, really. So if you want to heat the van up only, you don't want any hot water, but you do want to heat the van up, which on a day like today when I'm absolutely roasting in it, I don't really want, but I will just show you. 1 down gives you heating only. All right, so that little single gas flame symbol there is heating only. If I go down to the bottom, we'll get a little amber light coming on in there any minute, and that is heating and hot water at the same time. Okay, back to the middle is completely off. Up 1 or up 2 is hot water only. So that's your summer setting, basically. So that's just 40 or 60 degrees. All right, so hot water only is up, heating only is 1 down, both at the same time, all the way down to the bottom. And that is it. That is how you use the boiler. The freshwater drain, I will just mention, if you do ever need to drain out the fresh tank is underneath this seat just here, and so you do need to get under that to get into there to drain it out. Just thought I'd mention that as well. Is there anything else? The bed, I'll just show you. You can see there it's in its all the way back position at the moment, just so I can get around and show you there. You've basically just got a little handle. So you pull on this, back of the bed goes all the way down, and then push on it to get it to go back up. It's quite heavy, but you would want it to be heavy really, so that it doesn't move around. So that's how that works. I will just finish up in here and make sure that's all nice and tidy for when it's collected. But yeah, I think that's about it really. When you're sort of getting ready to close the van up and lock it up, or you know, drive off, whatever, main things to point out: make sure that all of your skylights are down. Please do that, because the amount of times you'll see people driving down the motorway with these things wide open, and if you saw or if you knew how much they were to replace, I can guarantee they wouldn't be doing it. So please just put them down before you start driving. You don't exactly need it in this one, you've got aircon, so but yeah, so skylights down, make sure that all of the windows are shut with the latches completely over. Same goes for the windows as well, they are not cheap, so making sure they're all completely shut before you drive off is really important. And just little things like, you know, tea towels and stuff like that underneath these, stop them rattling around, because I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but absolutely does my head in when, I mean, I drive these every day, but it does my absolute head in when they are smashing around. They do make a racket if you don't put sort of stuff in there to stop it, but there you go. So I think I've covered everything I can. If there's anything you think I've missed out, just let us know, and otherwise we look forward to seeing you soon to collect your van. Thanks very much.